What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. With that being said, man, with this trade that has gone on, this signing of Austin Reeves, right? This just proves that LeBron James no longer has the leverage that he had, right? And so the whole time that LeBron James has been in the NBA, he's been basically they've been negotiating from a standpoint of power and leverage. Now they don't have that, and this signing of Austin Reeves is a definite. I mean, it's a definitely lets people know that the Lakers are ones with all the leverage now. It's no longer LeBron James, right? And so I'm listening to Rich Paul and Max Kellerman try to explain the situation or to rationalize it, but they want to do it without acknowledging that LeBron James don't have the leverage, right? And so the Laker organization, just by their actions, has shown that LeBron don't have the leverage, right? And so I want to play this exchange between Rich Paul and Max Kellerman, and then I'm going to come back and give my input.
But when in a hard cap league, the most important thing that you can do, and this was true in the NFL more than any other league back in the day, and it's true more now in the NBA because of the hard cap, basically, you must evaluate talent and pay for the commodity, not a cent more than it's worth. You want to try to underpay the commodity because you're going to bump up against the cap and then eventually the apron. That's not what the Lakers did here.
Well, Max, I can understand your point, but sometimes in these situations, you're caught between a rock and a hard place. I mean, you've invested in Austin and he was undrafted. He chose to come. He's made the team, played well. And so there's not much out there.
No, at this point.
But
they could have traded him before they got to this point.
Yeah,
which is what I suggested.
All right. And so remember when they on the same podcast, these guys were discussing trading Austin Reeves. This is exactly why they wanted Austin Reeves out of the way, because they saw Austin Reeves as a threat to LeBron James' future in LA. They also saw Austin Reeves as a threat for LeBron James, like him getting the money. And so they knew that if it came down to a choice between LeBron James and Austin Reeves, that the Lakers would, if they kept Austin on the team, then they was going to choose Austin over LeBron, to pay Austin, right? But the Lakers, Rich Paul don't want to admit that LeBron James no longer has the leverage and the power that he used to have. So they trying to characterize it as the Lakers making a poor business decision when they should have taken care of this, gotten rid of Austin Reeves back when the Lakers was talking about it. So this right here, this conversation between Max and Rich Paul just proves that when they were having this conversation, this is what they were hoping that the Lakers did. It didn't happen. And once it didn't happen, they knew that this day was going to come. So now they're trying to make it seem like the Lakers made a poor business decision. It's more obvious to me that the Lakers are just choosing Austin Reeves over LeBron James. Now, if they had gotten rid of the Reeves guy and kept LeBron James, to me, that would have been an even worse decision. But the Lakers tired of LeBron James. The fan base is tired of LeBron James, and everybody know that LeBron James is just basically stat pad. So why bring LeBron James back, right? And so now they're just trying to really basically put a spin on it.
You got blamed for. Remember when I said there's something like, "Oh, Rich Paul is pushing some LeBron agenda or something wild."
I just gave a scenario based upon what you said. Makes sense for everybody,
right? And I was saying, basically, my point then was, right now you have an asset.
Yeah.
You can move the asset for an asset that you can keep and that you're going to pay accordingly and everything. If you don't do it now, eventually you're going to have to overpay for a guy that is not a perfect fit with what you're trying to do.
And so basically, like what Max Kellerman is trying to say, that he would rather, and he's working with LeBron James, so he would rather see the Lakers organization overpay LeBron James than overpay Austin Reeves, right? Which is stupid because LeBron James is on his way out. And so the money, LeBron James is not even going to affect winning. So the money that you're giving LeBron James is just going out the window. But if things don't work out with Austin Reeves, he still has value. Remember, Detroit Pistons was interested in Austin Reeves, so he still has value. If things don't work out with Austin Reeves in the next couple seasons, they can trade him. With LeBron James, if you pay him all this money and things don't work out with him, you stuck. I mean, that's money that you paid. It's just money that you just basically gave away. So you don't have any, there's no value in that to hold on to LeBron James. You're just basically giving money away.
Wait, that's why I brought it up then. So the thing they could have done is traded him when the getting was good. It's too late for that now.
Yes.
You can't let him walk for nothing.
No, you can't let him walk for nothing. And in his case, when these type of things happen, Max, they take a little while. And the time that is taken is you're trying to see if there's other offers out there. Once a team, if there was no other offers, they don't pay him that money.
Right.
But once you only need one.
And that's a good point. All right. So they, like I just said, Detroit wanted, they were looking at, that's one team that I know of. So Detroit was looking at Austin Reeves because they need somebody to help Cade Cunningham as far as scoring, right? They need another scorer. So now Rich Paul said on the Pat McAfee show, Rich Paul said that there were 10 to 12 teams looking at LeBron James. Now, if the Lakers really believe that, then that would have given LeBron James some leverage, but nobody's buying into the smoke that Rich Paul and Max Kellerman is none of this. They're not buying into anything that they say. And so Austin Reeves had legitimate people interested in bringing him on there because he has real value. This just shifts it and just let everybody know that now and remember, even during the season, people were saying that LeBron James should be the third option. This was last season. And so how could LeBron James expect to be the second priority when you had all three of those guys on the court at the same time? LeBron James was the third option. So how does that work? LeBron James is the second option. He's the third option on the court, but when it comes to getting paid, you want him to bump up to number 2, right? And so people are just smarter than that. The Lakers organization is smarter than that. Rob Pelinka, I think he realized that they need to lock this guy Austin Reeves in because LeBron James, he right now he's just stealing money.
And this is the beauty of it. And his agents did a good job. Once you have one team that's
what he's
willing
worth
to pay you. I remember this situation with Eric Bledsoe, and we're at this stalemate, and it went for a long time.
With the Clippers?
No, this was with the Phoenix Suns.
Oh, this one he's still on the Suns.
Yes. And Flip Saunders, may rest in peace, one of the best. All it took was him to come out and say, I will pay Eric Bledsoe what he's asking for. I'll pay him 4 years, 64. I will pay him that. Once that happened, you got one team willing to pay. Boom. There's your market. So I imagine, I don't know, but I imagine, well, I kind of do know, but I don't know, that Austin had another team willing to pay. So at that point,
that was Detroit. But still, and I bring this up again. Rich Paul was just on a Pat McAfee show, and Rich Paul said that there were 12 teams interested in LeBron James. Now, 12 is more than one. So if Austin Reeves had one team that everybody knows was the Detroit Pistons that was interested in him, LeBron James got 12. Why not, wouldn't that bump LeBron James up to be a bigger priority? And see, that's why I said, like, the inexperience of this management team for LeBron James is just showing itself, right? And they tried all these tricks and everything, but they, it's just not working. The Lakers did not buy it, but Austin Reeves had legitimate interest. LeBron James had, fake interest, and so the Lakers just decided to go with the guy who had the most value, and that guy just so happened to be Austin Reeves.
The Lakers have to pay him.
When you say I kind of do know, you mean like, of course he does. That's why they paid him the money.
Yes.
You don't pay him the money just because.
Yes.
Right. They say go out and show us your market. And he showed them, and that was that.
Yeah. So, man, things going to get really interesting from here on out for LeBron James, though, man, because all his leverage is connected to him being in the NBA. And his leverage is slowly but surely fading out. And you're going to see a lot of things like with LeBron James, because that's everything is tied into his leverage. He did not take the opportunity, and I keep saying this, he didn't take the opportunity to build relationship. Jeannie Buss complained about how ungrateful he was. Pat Riley, had some things to say about him, as far as like his leadership and his loyalty. What was the other guy? Phil Jackson, had some things to say about LeBron James. LeBron James, I just think he wasted 20 years, or he had 20 years to build relationships and to operate in a way that was going to benefit him in the long run, which he didn't do. And so now, you're going to see how that pays off, when you don't build relationships, because business is about relationships, and he didn't do it. He operated from he operated because he had the leverage and he had the power. And so now he don't have that. And now you're going to see people just, they're going to want some get back. And so that's my take on it. Make sure to like, subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I'm going to check y'all out in the next video. Peace.